No role plays, no conference calls, no BS. Chris and Lorenzo share 4 decades of combined experience to help you become a more effective leader. This is Hacking Your Leadership.
Hey, this is Chris with Hacking Your Leadership. On this week's discussion on employee engagement, I want to talk about the importance of defining what employee engagement is and actually having an employee engagement strategy. I think a lot of leaders have started using the words employee engagement as a much broader term that can encompass whatever it is they're experiencing in their organization, so they can say, oh, you know what, yeah, everything's good. There are a lot of employees out there who aren't quitting their job, who aren't looking to leave to go elsewhere. They're perfectly content. It would be the right word. Would they like more money? Sure, but they're paying their bills. The people they work alongside are nice people, and they like them. But that doesn't mean that they are engaged. And I think in a lot of organizations, a lot of leaders have started to take that criteria that I just listed and using that to define high employee engagement, when high employee engagement is so much more than that. In order to be able to impact employee engagement positively, you have to define what it is in a way that is challenging, in a way that actually quantifies what you're looking for out of employees, not just something that allows you to say what I already have is fine. And then you actually have to have a strategy on how to raise it, not just measure it and then react to whatever rise or fall in those numbers are, which is what I think happens in a lot of organizations. Employee engagement runs much deeper than just being happy with your pay and the people you work alongside. It's tied with a level of self-esteem that comes from believing that the work you do is something that you can derive respect from, that you can find the ability to get closer to your long-term goals and dreams. And it sounds kind of like ethereal and kind of like out there, but it's true. If all you're doing for your employees is meeting the basic needs, almost like a transactional relationship of, hey, yeah, I pay you fairly for the job you're doing and you're doing the job, and you're not looking at leaving because that checks those boxes, that doesn't mean that they're engaged in doing the work in a way that allows them to feel like they are growing themselves and becoming better people and accomplishing long-term goals and dreams. I think it's just so important that we define employee engagement in a way that includes those things, because it's harder to reach, but the efforts that it takes to get there will increase productivity and performance and long-term happiness. Even if you can't get all the way there for every person, just having that as part of your mindset as a leader will move the needle, so to speak.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. When I hear the term engagement, to me, it's so much more than just like, do I show up and just do the job? And even like, do I do the job well? Like, I think that that's kind of a ticket to entry when it comes to like really talking about true engagement. But I think when true engagement happens, it's kind of like when you've got somebody who is connected to the leader, connected to the work in such a way that they are not just doing the minimum expectation. They're looking for ways to improve. They're looking for ways to learn. They're looking for ways to grow, which means that they're taking some professional risk on certain things. They're trying things for the first time. They're open to learning, to feedback, to coaching, whatever that might be. Like that, when somebody's truly engaged, that means that they show up and they really think about like, not can I just do the job that's in front of me, but like, how can I make this better? How can I make the thing that I do better? How can I make our team better? How can I help to pour into the culture that we're building, like whatever that might be. But there's a piece of it that is just beyond the basics of, do I go to work and it's like, I like my job. It's a cool job. It's a good job. I like it. It's cool. Like if that's it, then that's fine. Like most companies would like to have that. But when we talk about true engagement, it has to build upon that aspect, and it has to include some of the things that you spoke about, so that we're measuring it appropriately, and we're really thinking about how do we strive to have the most engaged workforce possible? How do we have the most engaged team possible? That's going to require a lot of heavy lifting by the leaders, by the organization, to constantly not only connect with the people, but then like make adjustments and evolve things in work, in benefits, in opportunities to allow there to be this continual momentum of building engagement across everyone that's there.
Right. I found a quote online from a CEO of a company. His name is Robert Lojman, and it kind of jumped out at me because it reminds me of something that we've said on this show before. His quote is, "As CEO, I employ a management system that centers on 3 engagement initiatives: transparency, alignment, and voice. Where transparency in training associates about our goals as a company, our expectations of them, and how to pursue their goals in the system. We align objectives behind a shared passion, and we expect employees to challenge us with their voices." I read that and I started thinking vision, clarity, and support. Right? The alignment part of it is the vision. Are we aligned on the same vision and what we're here to do? Transparency is clarity, and voice is that support. If you expect employees to challenge you with their voice, what you're saying is you're willing to to meet them where they are and to give them the support they need. In a lot of organizations, if you're not willing to support your employees, you don't want them to have a voice because you don't know how to react to that voice in the long term and how to give them what they need. By definition, if you want your employees to challenge you with their voice, it means that you at least have the desire to support them in the things that they need. And so, transparency, alignment, and voices, I think they are synonymous with vision, clarity, and support. And it brings things full circle here. This is what employees look for to be fully engaged. If you're listening right now and you want some advice on how to be better at this or do this better, I want to go into that. But first, I'm going to give up to word from one of our sponsors. So if you're a leader and you're looking to get better at these things, you don't need to be a decision maker within an organization. You just need to own your role as a leader. So transparency doesn't necessarily mean that you have all the answers. It means that you are clear and honest and forthcoming with the information that you do have in a way that allows people to understand the why behind the things they're being asked to do, and they're able to tie that information into the broader goals of the organization. It means that if you are asking for them to give you feedback, that you're not doing it because you want the credit for asking them. It means you're doing it because you actually want to make changes that will help engage them better in their work. And no matter what it is that they say, either it means you can help them get that fixed or you can make changes, or you can articulate very clearly why that can't change or why that isn't something you can compromise on in a way that lets them leave the conversation thinking, I get it. I might not like the answer, but I understand why that is. These are things that you can always do on a local level, regardless of what the broader organization is doing.
Yeah, I think that's so important to the transparency aspect of building the trust. Spending the time to create consistency and predictability with the team is critical to having them be engaged, because they have to feel good in that space, and they have to be willing to understand that like there's more that we want to accomplish together than there is specifically to like the job expectations that we all have. And so I think that's a great call out. I think the other part of it too is constantly checking in with the team as a leader of people to say like, how are you feeling? And what are things, what are things that we do here that you maybe want to get more time to do? What's a passion of yours? How can I connect what people enjoy doing or what they're passionate about or things that they want to learn? How can I connect that to the day-to-day? Because I think when people then see the opportunity to learn and to grow, that also increases engagement, because they're really feeling like, again, they're not just a part of, they're a part of something bigger than just the day-to-day of the job. And that can be a really big piece in getting people to want to show up and not put forth just an effort, but put forth really their best effort.
Right. In a way that shows that they are proud of the work that they're doing, because they believe that work speaks to something broader or bigger than themselves, which is what everybody wants. And I know there are people listening right now who roll their eyes at that because they don't think it's possible, or they think that it's a pipe dream to have that be. What their goal is to just find a job that they don't dread coming to. And I'm telling you, that's not employee engagement. That's just having a job that you don't dread coming to. If you look at it from a psychology perspective, on a Maslow hierarchy of needs scale, having a job that makes you not have to live paycheck to paycheck, that you're able to pay the bills, put some money away for savings. You don't dread going there. It's fine. but you don't want to think about it when you're not there. There are people there that are nice, but if you left the organization, that you'd never talk to them again. Like all of those things, that is the lowest level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's just like checking off the basic boxes. And then there are other layers on top of that. To me, employee engagement is the top layer. It's that self-actualization layer that says that you've transcended beyond just these basic things, and you've gone into an area where employees they think about their job when they're not doing it because they're so passionate about the work that they just want to do it. And you're not going to get there with everybody. But if you think that engagement is just that basic level, that's all you'll ever get to. If you think of it as that top level and you make steps to strive for it, even though you know for a fact you'll never get completely there for every person because everybody's different, you will get further along than you are. You'll get further above where you're currently defining engagement, which is just, hey, no one's quitting, and people tend to report on an engagement survey that, yeah, things are fine. That's not employee engagement. You're going to get the best productivity, the best work, and the most fulfillment out of your role as a leader if the people who report to you can do these things in a way that is meaningful for them. I want to thank everybody for joining us in this conversation on employee engagement. Join us next week for another one. Have a great day.